Hey folks, it's Dr. Gerstmar from Aspire Natural Health, and in this quick video, I want to answer a question I recently got from one of the awesome people that we're working with. They asked me, can genetic testing tell me what I'm supposed to be eating and what supplements I should be taking? Now, that's a great question. We do see people and companies on the internet telling us that with our genetic information, they can tell us what type of diet we should follow, what type of exercise we should be doing, and what type of supplements we should be taking, and even more. How accurate is this? So first, let's talk a little bit more about genetics. Now, remember back to your high school biology classes, and hopefully that doesn't bring any terrible memories to mind. But when we learned about our genetics, we learned that our genetics are the cookbook of us. Now, just like a cookbook contains all the recipes, which give you the steps you need to make a meal, our genetics contain all of the instructions to make us. So there's a recipe to make your liver and your eyeballs and every other piece of you. Now, to have enough recipes or genes to make a human being, it was first estimated that you need between 1 million and 100,000 different genes. So it was a big shock when the Human Genome Project found that humans only have around 20,000 genes. That means that things are significantly more complicated than we first thought. It's not as simple as having one recipe for each piece of a human. What we found is that our bodies use different recipes and they mix and they match them with one another. For example, the body may take one recipe and follow the first 3 steps and then take the next 5 of another unless recipe 3 is involved, when it may choose to skip those steps and finish things up with 2 steps from recipe 4 and 2 steps from recipe 5. As you can see, it's incredibly complicated. And what that means is while there are a handful of genetic diseases with very clear-cut genetics, like sickle cell anemia, cystic fibrosis, and others, they are rare. Most of the diseases that we're dealing with, such as different autoimmune diseases or diabetes, heart disease, and cancer, do not have a simple genetic cause. In fact, studies on obesity have found that the most relevant genetic links account for about 3% of the difference in body weight. That means that fat genes account for an incredibly small amount of fatness. So the reality is that it's really complicated. When you hear things like, you have this gene, therefore you should do this, the fact is most of the time that is way, way too simplified. When genetic testing became widely available a few years ago, I was one of the practitioners on the leading edge of it, and we began routinely looking at the genetics of the people that we were working with. We began looking at things like MTHFR and other mutations and adjusting treatment plans based on those, and what we found for the most part was really disappointing. I don't want to say there's no value now in genetics. There definitely is, but we want to be careful not to overstate it. If you do have an MTHFR mutation, it's definitely worth a trial of methylated folate to see what happens, and we've absolutely seen it change people's lives for the better. If you'd like to learn more about MTHFR, we will include the link to my Ancestral Health Symposium talk on the topic, and you can check it out there. So there you have it. Let's sum things up for you. Genetics are very complicated. Now, there are a handful of simple genetic diseases and issues out there, but for most of us, with most of the stuff that we're dealing with, there are no simple answers in genetics. As of the recording of this video, which is late 2018, I believe that people and services offering to give you a tailored diet, supplement, and lifestyle advice based solely on your genetics are on super shaky ground. The science is just not there yet, and while we at Aspire Natural Health still do interpret genetic testing, we do far less of it than we used to because we found it's just not nearly as useful as we had hoped. Now, I expect in the years to come, we'll continue to learn more and more about our genetics and how they affect us, and it is my hope that one day you'll be able to go in, we'll do a cheek swab, we'll run your genetics through an analyzer, and we'll be able to tell you exactly what you should be eating and doing and taking. That would be awesome. But that day is not here yet. And I advise you to stay away from services that are saying they can offer that for you. Okay? I hope that helps. If you would like to know more about your thyroid, I'd like to offer you an audio recording of a lecture I gave on what the real holistic treatment of your thyroid looks like. All you need to do is click the button below, fill out the short form, and we will happily send that to you for free. So please click down below. At Aspire Natural Health, we are experts at treating digestive issues and autoimmune diseases. If that's you, we'd love to connect. We offer a no obligation, no pressure chat to see if we can help you and if we're the right fit to work together. If we are, we will move forward. And if we're not, we will do our best to connect you with the person who can best help you. You have absolutely nothing to lose. So please call us now at 425-202-7849 or email us at info@aspirenaturalhealth.com. All right, folks, until next time, take care.